Kim Kardashian, she of the large arse. Now, I don't really understand what the attraction is with Kim. She is one large bottom, and I don't really think being known as one large bottom is that great. I'd rather be known as the biggest bitch in Britain, frankly. You know, to call yourself plus size is simply a euphemism for being fat, and who wants to be fat? But I think I don't like geographical location names, celebrity names, things like Apple, things like, you know, Tilly Fizz. And don't call your kid North.
Do you know what my passion is? My passion is...
Eating.
Have you made girls cry?
I've made men cry, John, so be afraid. There's plenty of places in the UK that other people will tell you, I can tell you, I would not walk through.
Tell us these vast swathes of our country where we have lost control.
And if you didn't talk so much, I might be able to, darling. I invite your camera crews to come with me and see who tells me to cover up my hair, cover up my face. I mean, I can see that might be an advantage. I think if you have to pay these days for a 15-kilogram piece of luggage, why the hell aren't you paying for the 15-kilogram that you are draping round your arms, your waist and your arse?
People have different metabolisms, that's what I'm saying.
Well, if your metabolism is really slow, then maybe you need to shove less in this end so that you don't get fat.
Do you not realise where you're going with this?
How did you get this big?
This is actually to do with a hate crime.
And you're a victim of hate crime?
Absolutely.
And
can we call the police?
Would
you like to bring the police in?
Then a telephone right there. I think would you like it brought to you? Because it's probably going to be hard to
no,
just don't say I'm fat because, you know, it's just my metabolism. No, love. You're fat because you eat too much. Go get yourself a dairy milk. So you're finding me funny? This is the message I'm getting. Peaches Geldof is to me what salt is to a wound. She is everything that's bitter and twisted in this world. AP, attachment parenting, is just one step away from CRAP, crap parenting. I don't understand what this is. This is just an entirely inked arm, isn't it? It's just a blue arm. You say it tells a story. I don't see what a blue arm says about you.
Okay, it's hard to explain. So it's black ink that is the start of a white ink geometric sleeve over it that has a lot of meaning, but aesthetically...
I think it just looks ugly. I mean, it's funny that we call our children names before we even have them. Before you've even taken a look at your child, you'll give it a name. I think that's a strange thing
you have an issue with people calling their children names that may mean beautiful or something.
Well, you end up with a terribly ugly kid called Bella. It's quite strange.
Katie, you've been a victim of online abuse as well. Do you think we need tougher laws?
No, and I absolutely, you know, I push back on this term victim. I don't see myself as a victim at all. Look, Twitter's there for people that want to use it. If you don't like it, get off Twitter. It is only vanity that makes people read the damn thing until their eyes fall out of their head.
And Katie, you are extremely rude. We're the alternative in the mainstream society. You're totally prejudiced towards tattooed people.
Why? What? Because I'm a plain skin?
No, that's what happens to us. People instantly make the judgment.
That's because your face is coloured, the sort of colour of a first-class stamp, my chicken.
The reason why...
I totally disagree with that. The only thing you can do to stand out in life is colour your whole face in. That just makes you a kid with a crayon book.
One of your... You're doing a documentary, aren't you, about putting weight on?
Yeah, so I put on 4 stone to prove that skinny people aren't lucky to be skinny. They just move around a lot, and that fat people are, in fact, lazy.
It's a stupid project. I hate fat people for making me do this.
And that's why, as an employer, I have to be honest and say I would never employ someone outside.
The trouble is, it would appear that...
And if I can afford Olympic tickets, I can afford to pay for baby care. And if I'm going to the Olympics, I do not want to be sat next to a squawking child. And the list of things we can't say is now longer than the list of things we can. And I can't stand that. Feminists can go and do one. Kim has a daughter called North. I think that says everything, doesn't it? Especially when your career is going south. Big is not beautiful. No, you know, if you can't afford to pay for your own wedding, don't have one. If I want to bring you a toaster, even if you've got 2 already, I'm going to bring you a toaster. You know people have this opinion, which you admit.
Yeah, I know.
And so why don't you think, well, you know what, if I am going to compete, if I am going to get myself off benefits, which I really want to,
but you wouldn't ask someone
change?
of a different... And just because I weigh more than a certain person, I'm not getting a job. And that should not be allowed.
But the answer to that sits with you. You have one speed setting, and that speed setting is slow, slow, slow. Someone put the wrong speed dial in when they created you, sweetie. And I don't like women that complain. I don't like Criado Perez, I don't like Stella Creasy for those reasons. You know, they're on Twitter, someone says something a bit nasty to them, they have a little cry and go to the police. but I am man enough to deal with this stuff, and I enjoy the fact Twitter
This is a
there.
nonsense.
Yes, it's blunt, but
No,
if you want
Katie,
polite,
you
go and
deal
dress
with
in a
people.
dress and go to a tea party.
Katie.
Now, I'm not one for Lily Allen, really. I quite liked her when she was singing and kind of interesting, and then she went off to tell us all about, you know, being a mother, and she was removing herself from the spotlight because she wanted to be a mother, and that largely involved, I think, gaining 2 stone and looking pretty hideous.
So, but who's looking at that? It's really easy for women to turn on other women. Many women would have a problem with that.
I think if proof of the sisterhood and its bitchiness were required, it's sitting right here in purple, isn't it? And I think, for me, the sisterhood only extends as far as the kitchen door, and I think you'd be a good example of that. There is no way I would ever have a rug in a box in my house. One, I have taste, and finally, I have a home I'm proud of. But no off-peak weddings for me, not a chance. When I hear Tuesday, I think cheap bride, nasty dress. Yeah, believers are weird. They do love him. I think they may love him forever. I suspect they're sort of sad, lonely girls called kind of Rebecca and things that haven't got many friends and kind of hold on to him and say that they believe. Well, they can believe off the women. It's because, you know, men talk in logic and rational terms, and they don't squawk and make a noise.
But nobody likes it. Nobody likes it. Do not delude yourself that it's only women who don't like you. Men don't like you either.
Is there an off button, Sonia? Because I'd like to press it right now.
And that's just greed.
Okay.
Well, I think
you're
a perfect example of greed, Sweet Pea, because you weigh 25 stone.
You see hope, and I see fat bastards draining our National Health Service. There was a golf buggy that brought the bride up to the pretend church. A golf buggy. And I said to my daughters, look at that golf buggy. If you think you're going to get married using a golf buggy, your mother will not be coming to your wedding. Look, Sir Tim Hunt is a great guy. He's a funny guy. He has a dry British wit. Now, if you take a load of scientists, specifically South Korean scientists, who've got about as much sense of humour as my mother-in-law.
And journalists, apparently.
And she's dead.
Yeah.
So, no, I do find her deplorable, but I extend love to you, Katie.
I really don't want that sort of love from someone in purple.
Let's have...
I would never hope to be associated with anyone that's ever bought anything from the TV. Frankly, if you don't like the Forum, get off it. Our police have better things to be doing, and I'm sure our taxpayers don't want to be going out there spending their hard-earned money on police coming around to deal with problems for small women like you.
How would you know who was a Muslim and who wasn't?
You can't enforce that sort of thing. You don't have religion announced on your passport. I said myself, what we're going to do, stay there and, you know, eat a hot dog and sing Glory, Glory, Hallelujah. I think women actually don't want equal treatment. They couldn't handle it if they got it, quite a number of them. What a lot of women are actually asking for, and you can look aghast at this, is special treatment.
There will be women listening to you on LBC tonight.
Throwing their high heels at the radio.
Kicking the wall with anger.
Well, maybe they need to get a sense of humour, and maybe female scientists need to get a sense of humour as well.
Because trust me, people don't want to work with people that they don't trust.
It's great that everybody loves you, and it's great that you speak for the whole nation. You're a great person, and I'm not as great as you. Ultimately, I have no hate. I have no hate. I have no hate.
No, you do. You clearly do.
Listen, Dolly, I look for the best in everyone. It's just that I so seldom find it. I stand by everything I've said. I stand by everything I've done, really. And I don't apologise for any of it. So, you know what? Deal with it.